Good morning, everybody. It's Javier, and I'm super excited to be with you here today to share with you some information that can help elevate your overall success. And one of the things that we've been working on is in helping everybody increase their income. And I'm happy to report that we've been doing a very good job there, or you've been doing a great job there. This is the most profitable summer ever, where we have kept more people busy, or they have kept themselves. I don't want to take the credit than ever before. And so I'm very proud, and that says a lot, especially with the type of business that we run. So having said that, let's get into the presentation. It's short, but it's very important because it ties into something I'm going to share with you here in just 1 second. Now, what I'm going to talk about here today is Loom. Is anybody here currently using Loom by any chance? I'm just curious. Has anybody heard of it?
Just started, Javier, after you told me about your video.
I've used it a couple of times.
Got it. It's really cool. And so I'm going to go ahead and share with you what it's all about, how to get access to it. And the best part is that it's going to be for free. There are some products that I am an affiliate with, meaning I get a percentage of the revenue or what have you. This is not one of them. This is just something I want to share with everybody because I'm very passionate of what it's done for myself and my business, that I want everybody to just, at the very least, be aware of it as well. So let's get into it. But as always, before we get into it, I want to go over some first things. First, I want to remind everybody that this week is the convention. We are not having a webinar next Saturday for obvious reasons. We're all going to be at the convention. I'm going to be presenting during prime time, which is Saturday morning. And so I'm going to be talking about various things to help people move their business forward. But the essence of my talk is going to be to understand that you do everything you do in FFS with a purpose. And for me, the one thing that I like the most about FFS, I like a lot of things, the people and everything. But what I love is the compounding residual income we can generate for ourselves and our family. Because remember, even after we die, we can literally designate a beneficiary and leave them the income that we generate while we were alive. And let me give an example. I'm actually going to give you a sneak peek if you're going to be there. I'm also going to show people how to leverage the power of the Marketing Boost platform as well. I've never done that from stage, and I'm going to do that because of what it's done for so many of us. And I want to make sure that people at least get a chance to take it for a test drive based on what I'm going to teach them. So what you see here is a commission statement. All of you here have seen one. And usually what it does, you just put in the date range from whatever to whatever. We usually just put Tuesdays or Fridays, which is when we get paid. And so as you can see, based on the one that I'm sharing with you right now, let me see Anthony LeBlanc. Can you see the PowerPoint that's there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And so as you can see here, this shows you the commission date. I only chose one particular day, which was the 19th. I had to do this last week because of the fact that I had to get it into the home office. And as you can see, what it does, it found 972 records. What that means is that's 972 lines, if you would, of commissions, as you see on the screen. And they are from oldest to newest. And the reason that this is very important is because I don't know about you, but I would like to get to the point in life where I don't have to work if I don't want to. And the only way you're going to do that is through residual income. And so anyways, to make a long story longer, this is literally a preview. So I'm practicing on you is what I'm doing of the actual presentation I'm going to do. So if you click on the writing date, it will go ahead and back up. And what happens when it backs up, it will go ahead and show you from your oldest commission to the newest, and the newest being that pay period, basically. And so when I click on this writing date, you can see that the first ones that I get paid for based off for this statement go back to 2006, September of 2006. That's a long time ago. That's a very long time ago. And you also will notice that of the 10, 11 commission lines for this pay period, almost all of them, with the exception of one, was written by me. And so if I click on the writing date again, it will reorganize it. And now it goes from the most recent. So the most recent thing I got paid for whatever, whatever it was, doesn't matter. I got paid for something that was written now. And so that was on the 14th of July. So we're paying extremely, extremely quickly. But the point that I'm making is that if you look here, again, 972, the records, the writing date, blah, blah, blah. But if you notice here, everything on this screen was actually written by somebody other than myself. And so I say that because some people would like to get to the point where your income no longer depends on just you. I'll leave you with one last example and we'll get into the class. This is from the 12th, which is the pay period before that one for the month of July. So again, I'm just simply backing up another pay period, which is what you see here, the 12th. From there, this one had 2,248 lines of commissions. So now some of them might be negative, by the way, because it might be a chargeback here or there, but for the most part, 98% it's not, or 99% it's not. And so once again, if I look at the writing date, this one for that pay period was from 2007. And so if you do the math, we're talking 15, 16 years of compounding residual income that you can get paid. Like this year, I submitted a few pieces of business. So I got paid this year for commissions in business generated, not just by myself, but by my team in 2022, but also 2021, plus 2020, plus 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, and so on and so on, all the way 2006 for the last pay period, 2007 for this. And so the reason that I share this with you, because when people ask me, what is that? What do you think plays a role into having something like this? Anybody, real quick. I hope you don't think I'm bragging or showing off or trying to impress you, because if I wanted to impress you, I would go get, Shirley Lou or one of these people that get 9,000 lines of commissions. I want to show you the principle. Anybody, what do you think it takes to do something like this? Anyone? Please.
Focus.
It's building a team.
Okay, building a team. Focus, first of all, focus. And when I would roll into the word focus, I would not just put in focus, but consistency. Sometimes we have people that come and go, they come back, and go, they come back, and they go. And every time we come back, we start from scratch all over again. You do not get to pick up where you left off. That's a lie. You are going to start in an even tougher position. So focus, consistency. I heard Bob say building of a team. You cannot override a team you don't have. So that's also very important. Anybody else? Anybody? All right. Well, like I said, I just wanted to go over some pointers with you guys, but I need you guys to put it on.
Commitment. I'm driving, but commitment.
Okay, commitment. Now that's very important, because you got to make sure. I made a determination back in, let me back up over here for just 1 second. I made the commitment here back in 2006 that I was going to see this thing called actually it wasn't even called FFS, but I saw the light for the IUL. I had sold the VUL before. I saw all the gains get wiped out during the 2001 stock market crash. And I told myself I would never sell that again. And then when this crossed my path, I'll never forget it. I said, man, this is something that I think this is something big. Not that many things do it for me. Just I can tell you of 3 things I've done in my life on a large scale. Real estate, which includes mortgages, life insurance. Now I do believe solar is the first thing that would get me to move. I don't move around a lot. I don't distract myself, but it has to be something that I say, damn, this is big. And so back then we started with a company called PPMG. Then we went to PPMG Elite. Then from PPMG Elite, it turned into Global Group Financial. Then from Global Group Financial, Phil bought it, renamed it First Financial Security. But during all those changes, a lot of people fell out, and I stayed the course. I don't know if you knew this or not, but in FFS today, I am the person with the oldest code number. Nobody in the company, not even Phil, the owner, has been here longer than me. Nobody has been here longer than me and still active in First Financial Security. And again, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you that there's a million things to go make money with. If there's one thing that I've learned in life, is that making money is very simple. Not easy. It's a very simple thing. You throw me, you can parachute me anywhere with any opportunity and I'll build it. But man, FFS, we can speak for a lot of different reasons that I'm not going to get into, but I saw it. So commitment, anything else that you want to throw in there? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I want you to ask yourself, to what degree are you committed right now? Are you committed as long as you make money? Are you committed as long as it's easy? Or are you committed as long as people say yes? And the moment somebody says boo, you quit or you get discouraged? There's many people who call me for encouragement, and I always tell them, faster. I can't do that. If you're beyond a certain age and you cannot motivate, there's a lot of hope for you for the simple fact that life just doesn't work that way. And so I just want to make sure everybody understands. I think it's Keith. There, it was Keith. He's scratching.
Can you mute? I don't know. Somebody is doing something.
Yeah.
It's a lot of noise.
That was Keith was scratching his butt with his phone.
Sorry.
All right, but like I said,
The other thing, Javier, is,
Go ahead.
that's right here showing this is showing why it's so important to do our annual reviews and keep our policies on the books, because we keep getting paid.
Yes, and that's
Why wouldn't we?
And that's what I'm getting to right now. One thing that hasn't been brought up, and Bob, another EFC, brought it up, and what I wanted to emphasize to you, that in my world, it's more important to keep business on the books than it is to bring it on the books. Now, they're both important, but sometimes people put too much emphasis on getting business on the books, and they're not keeping it on the books. And so you will never, ever be able to compound your income and compound your residual income if you're not keeping it on the books. This goes back to 2006. You know what has happened on this earth since 2006? And they still have it. And that's not just the ones from the entire year of 06. That's just that pay period. The bulk, and I mean the overwhelming bulk of the IULs that I have written are all still on the books, but it's not because they like me. It's not because they need it. It's not because it benefits them, because everybody that gets it sees that. But then why don't they keep it? And the answer is communication. That's a very, very big deal. And then the second thing that's also very important, people respect it. If I do an illustration for you right now, if you were my client and I'm doing an illustration for you, one thing I have always done, always, and I do this in any business. I do that on the solar side. I do this everywhere. Can you hit the switch right there? And what I'm talking about is being able to go ahead and give your prospect, your client, the peace of mind that what you are telling them, they are going to be able to hold you to it as well. And what I'm getting at is recording your presentations. If you do not record your presentations that you give to your clients, that just tells me, and it tells them, and I'm not saying it's a case, I'm just saying it's just what we all perceive to be the case, that you either A, lack the confidence, or B, are not really saying something that should. I'll give you an example. When somebody sold me solar, I became a solar client last November, and I asked the guy, now, do you mind if I record the Zoom that you're going to do to present to me this, what they call a proposal? And his answer was, absolutely, absolutely. And that immediately said, man, this is my kind of guy. That is what I'm talking about, because I'm expected to sign a loan for 25 freaking years and just take your word for it when I didn't even know you. And if I don't know you, I don't trust you. And so therefore, when you hear somebody say that, it changes the dynamics. Because even if you don't record it, just the mere fact that you told them you're going to will make it feel so good. I do. And so I'll give you another example. I referred somebody to another person that also does solar. And I sent them a good friend of mine. And I got him the webinar as well to listen in, just because I was learning. And so what I told them, the person immediately saw that it was being recorded. And the agent, now this is the agent, right? The seller said, well, I don't feel comfortable with this being recorded. And I'm like, well, why would you not feel comfortable? I mean, and no, you got to give consent to record. I don't want to. And so we turned off the recording and the deal went to crap. And the potential client said no. And I mean, it was just such a big mess. And I don't blame them. Why? What do you have to hide? Now, you might have your incompetence to hide, or maybe your ill intentions, but that's basically what we tell people. Well, we don't like it. I record my presentations via Zoom because I like to archive it for those that can't make it to the Saturday webinars, because as you know, I don't answer questions during the week for something that was covered on the webinar. Take your butt over to FFS on YouTube.com, check out our channels, and watch the recording. Don't call me to debrief you on a one-on-one basis. I'm not going to do it. I have better things to do. But I found something even much better a while back that I have shared with a lot of you, and the feedback has been incredible. Get the most important presentation you can ever record, just so you know, is the one that you're going to practice on. See if you would buy from yourself. And it's amazing how every time I record myself and I review it, I say, damn, I forgot to mention this. I forgot to mention that. I should have said this. I should have said that. That's how we learn. That's how we make a commitment. So get in the habit of doing that. Now, up until now, all my recordings have been via Zoom. And so what I'm going to do right now, I'm actually going to show you. Well, anyways, I am recording this, and I'm going to do this last one time because I don't use Zoom recording anymore I use Zoom recording just to let everybody know that it's being recorded because you have to hit the okay. That's how I get consent. But there's something that's 1,000 times better that I'm going to share with you right now, that if you sell anything, you would be double dumb not to use it. So anyways, this is the first few slides I'm going to talk about during the convention, because I want you to understand that, it's nice waking up to 2,248 lines of commissions. I like it. It gives me the freedom that I seek. Now, the hardcore people, the Shirley Lou's of the world, they're out there not just enjoying what you're seeing here, but they're still throwing new business at it on top of it. Can you imagine? That's how they get to 1 million. But one of the things that I will share at the convention that I'll share with you, and I'm going to continue now, is one thing I learned, and I learned the easy way and I've learned it the hard way, is that in order for you to live life on your terms, you don't need to make all the money in the world. You just need to make enough. That's very important for you to realize. You could be brand new to FFS today, and in a year's time, live life on your terms. And so, anyways, I'm not going to get into that. If you want to hear the whole spill, come to the convention this coming weekend. Anyways, enough with this. I also want to congratulate our newest promotion to somebody that deserves it like you wouldn't believe, and that is Mr. Alan Guerra, who just got promoted to National Marketing Director. I think he's the epitome of a leader, the epitome of a servant leader at that, because he leads this team with his heart. He gives 110% to his clients. He does it all, and does it all with the patience of a saint. And so I just want to congratulate Mr. Alan Guerra, and I have the great honor of calling him a friend as well as his wife. And as a result of his hard work, he was with us in Europe this past earlier spring. And we've been all over the world with this guy and his wife. So I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate Mr. Alan Guerra on his promotion to National Marketing Director, and challenge him to hurry up and hit his next promotion as quickly as possible as well. I think he's on. Mr. Alan, are you on, sir? Or maybe not. He was on earlier.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there you are. Go ahead, sir. Anything you want to say?
No, I just thank you very much for all the support. For me, being connected to FFS has been life-changing, and I appreciate the journey that I'm in. There's many more goals that I need to reach and I want to reach, and I'm just excited for the next chapter, and thank you for everything.
Perfect. Thank you. And again, great job. And on behalf of every member of our team and our company, Phil, the owner, and the president, Mr. Vince Rocos, everybody just wants to say, job well done. Congratulations, and keep up the great and humble work that you do. So thank you so much for that. So I hope everybody here works on their next promotion as well. I'm not going to get ahead of the game, but if you're going to come to the convention, you're going to know of a new way that they have of allowing you to be, for the lack of a better phrase, promoted temporarily, not necessarily hitting all the criteria for permanent, but if you hit certain points, you're going to be able to get promoted up to 90% on personal production. And as long as you maintain the point, you keep getting that. And if not, you roll back, which is pretty cool. I think so anybody that wants to dramatically increase their income, make sure you come to the convention as well. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about Loom. This is something that's very near and dear to my heart, because like I told you, I always record all the presentations. The hard part about Zoom is that Zoom is intended for what we're doing right now, which is more of a virtual meeting, which makes sense that we record. The downside is, what if I'm talking to somebody, a teacher in their classroom, or a cop at the police station? I have 2 cops coming to my house Monday, and we're going to write them up for the IULs. And so the point is, it's awkward when I record a Zoom with nobody in the meeting except me, but it's better than nothing. The downside of Zoom is that it's very difficult to edit, because at the conclusion of your Zoom, if you did record the presentation, Zoom will send you what's called the raw file. The raw file simply means it's just a raw recording, MP4. And so what you need to do then is take that file, dump it into something like a Camtasia, where you can slice and cut it and edit it and fix it, basically, because a lot of the times we have a lot of dead time in the beginning. We're kind of waiting for the client to come on. We're just kind of doing whatever. We don't need to record all that, so we have to edit it. It's very, very difficult. That's where this comes in. This is something that allows you to record the screen. So if you're on a webinar like right now, you would be recording this on your end without necessarily having to be recording everybody's computer, which is pretty cool. It allows you to also show your screen. It allows you to edit it on the fly and do a million things that, again, Bob said it earlier, you want to make sure that for you to reach that magic compounding of income that I just showed you, you want to make sure you learn how to keep it on the books. And so what I do, we talked about it last week, annual reviews. Annual reviews is where it's at. You would be double dumb and a fool to not conduct annual reviews with every single piece of business you want to keep. If you don't need it, if you don't want it, don't hold an annual review. But if you want to hold onto it on your book of business, make sure you do the annual review. And so this is something that lives both on the cloud, but it also downloads an extension to your browser if you use Chrome and so on. And so what it allows you to do is to record a standalone recording, meaning it doesn't have to be via a webinar. It could just be me practicing how I present to somebody. That's important. And the best part, excuse me, you can actually add your video camera if you want to. And I'll show you just one second. What I like about it the most, it's free. So you just simply need to go to loom.com, download the free one. And what it will do, it will capture, well, your screen. No matter what you're recording on, it gives people, because what I tell everybody is, look, listen, do me a favor. And if I'm talking to Alan as my prospect for an IUL, I would say something like, Alan, do me a favor. Go ahead and focus on this presentation because it's short, sweet. And don't worry about taking notes because I'm recording this, just so you know. And I'm going to send you a link to the recording as soon as we're done with the conference. That's where you can focus on this. Fair enough? And immediately their guard comes down because they know. And what I always throw in there, I'm also recording this. So, Alan, you can hold me to anything I told you. Anything I promised you, it's going to be caught here on the video, which you're going to have a link to as well. It's amazing how many more people will buy from you if you can simply put them at ease. When I went with my solar presentation, like I told you at the end of last year, my guard was all the way up here because I had already seen 4 people come to my home to try to sell me solar. And I just didn't believe them. I just didn't trust them. And so for me, when I was told that I could record it, it put me at ease. He sent me a link to his Zoom, and I sent him a link back saying, no, use this link because I'm going to record it on my end. And when they said, yeah, go ahead, I knew I was with the right type of person. So that's what I'm telling you, that it's important to understand the power behind this. Now, let's go into this just one second. Once the recording is done, all you need to do is share a link that the system will provide you with and email it to them, text it to them. And not only will you go ahead and actually be able to share the video, but you're going to be able to actually see when they saw it. And that's very important because if people are not watching your recording for whatever reason, you know that they're not reinforcing what they learned. But for me, where my life became a lot easier is the editing part, because now I can edit literally on the screen, save it and share it, versus before I had to wait till the Zoom webinar to end. And then I would go ahead and wait for it to get processed by Zoom, then email to me. Then I would need to download the attachment. I need to upload it to Camtasia and do a full-blown editing on it. And so by the time I did that, then I have to render it. And the 1 hour, give or take, webinars we do takes about 30 minutes to render, to just create by Camtasia. And then I need to go to YouTube, go to our YouTube channel, upload it. You know how long that takes to upload, even with mega fast internet? And then, of course, they process it when they get it. So today, a webinar that we record at 9 a.m. should be ready around 3 p.m. Now I do this for my 9 o'clock webinar and my 10 o'clock webinar, so you can see where my whole weekend goes, basically, or used to go. And then Loom came along. What's also really cool about this, people can leave comments on your video. Unlike YouTube that's public, this one's private. And so if they want you to reinforce anything, they can do it right on the platform itself. And so all the features you need and more, whether it be the video downloads, if you want a hard copy onto your hard drive, instant video editing, high definition screen that captures up to 4K, record system, and internal audio. What that means is that if I play a video, it will record it not just from the speaker sound, but from the internal audio, which is high quality, of course. Custom recording dimensions, drawing tool, mouse emphasis, closed captions, and of course you can embed them onto any website or anything else. And of course, I still do it I just go ahead and process it there. And then I just upload it to YouTube, onto our YouTube channel as well. A lot of things you can do with it. Start by recording yourself. See how you give a presentation when it comes to recruiting. And then you'll see why your team is maybe the size that it is, whether it be big or small. Maybe record yourself giving a presentation for anybody, for an IUL, and ask yourself, what I buy from this person based on what I just saw. It's amazing what happens when we record ourselves. I used to tell people back in the day to have a micro cassette recorder, record themselves, and then listen to it. Where, of course, now we don't have to do that. We can do it with things like this. I do this all the time. I work a lot on the road. And when I travel, everything that I can do from a laptop, I basically can do from the app. I can see who has viewed it, how many views it has, what comments, what are people saying, because I can designate who it goes to. Not everything I do goes to the team. We're working very closely right now, getting our next wave of people to learn how to take on these appointments with teachers. And that is a lot of hands-on work. That's for a small group of people. And so we want to make sure that, again, instead of us opening up to 500 people that have their 2 cents every 5 seconds, we are constantly feeding videos back and forth. What do you think about this? You could have improved this, do this better, do this different. And that's the kind of people I like to work with, that like to take that criticism to sharpen their saw, if you would. And so that's why Loom plays such a big role in that. So what's really cool, if you want to, you can even add an actual extension to Chrome, which is what I do. That way it just lives in Chrome instead of it having to be just simply on the cloud. And they have an Android app, iOS app, and a whole lot more. I would encourage everybody to start with the free one and stay with the free one until you know for a fact that you're going to do more with it. Now, the free one has its limits, only 5 minutes per video, which is more than enough to practice how you actually present, how you sell, how you close, and so on. More than enough. How you recruit, that's more than enough. The one that I do is that I pay for. I have the business one, which is a whopping $8 a month. I just prepay the whole year. I don't like to mess around with monthly bills, but now you go to an unlimited number of videos, a limited number of creators, and the most important part, an unlimited number amount of length of time of the recording as well, which is pretty cool. And so it's just, I'm telling you, the greatest thing since sliced bread. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to fire it up on my screen so you can kind of see what it is that it looks like. And if you can, let's just see, I know Anthony was on. Anthony, can you, let me as soon as see my Chrome. It's not on yet, but you should see my Chrome browser, please. In 1 second. Do you see it? It says show it, say it. Okay.
Actually, it's the Loom. Is it the Loom?
It says show it, say it,
Send it.
send it.
Yeah.
Show it, say it,
right?
send
Up
it.
and down? It's
Yes,
moving up and
yes.
down?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the website. And here's all you need to do. First of all, get it for free. Always start with free. Because I am telling you, I don't like people getting stuff they're not going to leverage. No sense in doing that. Even $8 a month is too much to just waste. I'm going to sign in. And what I'm going to do here, I already have an account. I'm just going to go ahead and log in. Obviously, you can log in with any of these other services. And I'm going to do a video. I'm going to record you guys right now. So all I'm going to do is click on new video, record a video, and then it's going to ask me screen only, or I can do screen and camera. I'm going to do that one. I usually do that one. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see me in the lower left-hand corner of the screen? Waving?
No,
No, okay. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you're going to be able to see
no,
the-
we don't see the Loom picture.
Okay. Okay. Do you see the Loom library or not?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do is right now, you're going to see it in just 1 second. So it just simply asks you, do you want to record your screen, meaning the whole camera, the whole full screen, or you can do parts of the screen if you're just recording a small portion of the screen. And it wants to know if you want to record your own camera as well. So it's counting down right now. I don't know if you can see that, but as of right now, it's recording. Now, can you see the little bubble on the lower left-hand corner? I don't think you can because you're on Zoom.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, the way it works is very simple. From here, everything that I say is being recorded, both the screen and my picture. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. Let's just say I'm practicing on how to recruit. I would just simply go ahead and start recording. I put my slides up, which I'm not going to do right now. I will put it up there. Or let's just say I'm trying to sell an IUL to somebody. All right, well, first of all, I'm going to use Alan as an example. Well, Alan, this is Javier. I just wanted to go ahead and record this so that in case you want to go back and review anything I mentioned to you, you can go ahead and do so. And most importantly, Alan, you can hold me accountable to everything that I say. I can tell you right now that there's no better time to become a life agent. That right now, if you look out into the economy, they say that a recession is either brewing, that it's here, or that it's going to be a tremendously devastating one. Either way, there's never been a better time to do what we do here at First Financial Security. We help people. We don't sell. We don't beg. We don't bug. You can build great residual income for future freedom, great income today, and many, many other things. So anyways, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, Alan, for taking a look at this. And again, if you have any questions, just give me a call, text me, or you can actually leave a message here in this video as well. All right, thank you so much. Now, on my left-hand side, a little red box appeared that you can't see right now, but it just simply says stop recording. You just put the the red button. I'm gonna do that, and now you're gonna be able to see my screen. Can you guys see where it says?
Yes.
Okay, so this right here is the actual, but as of right now, it's recording. Now, can you see the little bubble on the lower left-hand corner? I don't know if you
Yeah,
can.
we see the bubble now.
Well, no, that's the recording. That's not me asking you. That's
Oh,
the
wait, I'm sorry. We see the recording with your bubble.
yeah. And so what you can see here, what it's doing is, now here's what I want to show you. Well, the way it works is very simple. From here, everything that I say is being recorded both the screen and so now when it comes to editing it, unlike exporting, Camtasia, import it, and all this other stuff, I just simply click on trim. There you go. I just clicked on the little trim, and on the bottom is the waveform. So I just need to do is come in here and drag it to where I want to start. So this is the beginning. I just hit play. Okay. Well, the way it works is very simple. I don't want to get my cost, so I'm going to go ahead and drag it a little bit more and start right there. Everything that I say, there you go. I want it to start there. So now I just hit save changes right below here. I hit save changes. And when I do that, it just saved it. It's a done deal. I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to just call it, this is for, who the hell was I talking to? I forgot.
Alan.
So I'm just going to go ahead and rename it. Okay, Alan, opportunity, presentation. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I just named it that. So what I can do, I can either go to the upper right-hand corner and copy the link and send it to whoever I want to, or I can literally click on share. And when I click on share, instead of just sending him the link, I'm going to go ahead and actually type in their email address. And the reason I'm going to do that is because when I do that, it will go ahead. Let me just put a space. There we go. And so what I'm going to do, and so there. When I do that, I can add another person. They can view it, and I'm going to hit share. And the reason that's important is because when I do that, not only will the system go ahead, and so here I'm going to get an actual, here, I got an email, and the email says, Javier has shared a Loom with you. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on watch the video. And when I watch the video, there it is. And so now I can watch it, I can comment, I can do whatever. But what's really cool about this is that the system will actually go ahead. Let me just move this out of the way, please. What will happen is that also the system will go ahead and send me an, let me go back over here. Will send me an email letting me know that Javier has watched your video. And it's pretty cool. And there's a lot more things you can do. Add transcripts. If you're doing social media, you want to make sure you do that because a lot of people watch their social media while their phone is on mute. You can actually go ahead and change the thumbnail. The thumbnail is basically the image when the video begins. So I can come in here and just drop it in here, or I can go ahead and search for it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put a, there's this, I'm going to do it like that. And so now it looks beautiful. Now it looks beautiful. So you should always have a thumbnail for client presentations, for annual reviews. So that way, when you send them their link, they can review it at a later time. And remember, a lot of people ask me for annual reviews, how do I find the initial illustration I showed them? Well, you should have saved it, but I didn't. Okay, then you're kind of screwed. Now what you need to do when you record, when you actually present to them initially, go ahead and record it. And that will be your record of what you told them the values were going to be at a future time as well. And
Hey
so anyway,
Javier, so that thumbnail is not the picture in the video. The thumbnail is the whole screen, and that's recorded.
yes, so it's going to be just there for, and not only that. Now, when I come into my library, and when they get the email that they have a new video, what it's going to do, it's going to save it as the actual video, if you would, the
Right.
initial image is what it's called. And so the reason that that's really important is because, again, when they get their link, it will show them that. And when they click on view, like, see how that looks kind of ugly right there?
Yeah.
It would have had the thumbnail when it starts.
Even if you changed it after the fact, or
Yeah, if I resend it now he won't change it because this is a GIF that was created when the email
Right.
ended. But if
Right.
I send it again right now, the answer is yes, it will.
okay.
So it's pretty cool. It's really, really cool. And so
I didn't know
that's
that
why
part.
it's important to do that. And again, it will help you get more business, get more people, get more recruits. It would also keep you on track for your annual reviews, and not to mention your compounding income as well. Any questions about anything from anybody? For those that have used it, what are your thoughts on it? I don't want people to hear me. For you, anybody somebody said they used it.
Yeah, I've used it a couple of times. I've kind of forgotten about it, but I've used it a couple of times. I didn't do the thumbnail thing. I wish I'd have known that before. I've used it after I've spoken to someone, had a meeting with someone, and then I sent a reminder. I've sent it to because they wanted to talk to their wife, and I said, well, they didn't want to have another meeting with all of us, whatever. So I sent another Loom with me presenting again for the spouse.
Yes.
I've used it that way. Yeah.
Perfect.
Javier,
Okay. Anybody else?
Now, Javier, these recordings are saved on the cloud, so they're not on your computer. They're not taking space on your computer.
Yeah, they're not taking space at all. What you can do, which I don't recommend, you can go ahead and download it if you wanted to. I don't recommend.
That'd
It
be
just
crazy.
takes up a lot of video. It takes up a lot of space.
Yep.
And so I don't recommend. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you one last thing. Oh, anyway, somebody else. I don't want to cut it short. Somebody else told me that they had tried it. Who was it? Anybody else have any experience with this whatsoever? All right. Well, look, listen. I'm not going to make it any longer than I have to. I want to provide you with stuff that makes a difference. Like I said, to your lasting success. To me, it's not good to have a good week, or it's not good enough to have a good month or a good year. I call it perpetual success. And if you play your cards right, you will be able to enjoy perpetual income as well. But you're going to have to do your part first. Any questions, comments, concerns from anybody?
So when
About
you're
anything?
doing that, when you're using this this service, and you click on that you want it to use the camera, will it also use green screen? So in the background, you'll have your green screen.
I saw in the comments that it did, but I have not actually tried it. But it does have a green screen option.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't
Great
notice
question.
in the last video you just showed us whether whether we saw your background or whether we saw a green screen.
It should have been the real background because I did not select anything like that.
Yeah.
But you could do that. Any questions about anything from anybody, please, before we wrap it up? I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just really want to emphasize how important it is for you to stay up to speed with all that's going on in regards to not just the business, but I will tell you this on a personal note, that I believe we are today where we were in 2007 on the verge of something big happening, and unfortunately something negative in the stock market and so on, the economy for the world. That means opportunity for all of us, and so don't be afraid of that. And I'm telling you, back in 07 was when we really laid down the foundation for FFS, for my team. The exact same thing that was happening today was happening then. I was with Anthony doing a presentation at the Board of Realtors in Cerritos yesterday, and this was the very first group that did not fight me. I do a lot of presentations for a lot of realtors, loan officers, and up until now, most were like, oh, this is just a little bump in the road. Oh, no, this is just temporary. Oh, no. And now people are listening like you wouldn't believe, because now they know it's the real deal. Any questions, comments, concerns from anybody before we wrap it up?
Hey, Javier, this is George.
George, go ahead, sir.
No, I just want to reemphasize what you said at the very beginning about, keeping communication up and keeping business on the books. I actually ran an appointment for a client that I never even met before. It was an inherited client, and she had an old provider, and I was able to we basically upgraded her to the Flex Life, which for those of you that do that, you get paid again for doing that. But more importantly, we're going to get a school because she's at a brand spanking new school in El Segundo. So we're going to be scheduling that late August when they return back to class. Plus, she's also has a husband that's with the LAPD, which we're going to be talking to, or at least I'm going to be talking to, hopefully within the next week or so, probably after we come back from convention. So again, the only reason I say that is because it's important. It's like you said, it's low hanging fruit when you talk to your guy, especially the older ones that have Secure Plus provider and are looking to upgrade their plans or upgrade their life insurance. So I just want to encourage everybody to do that and reach out to your clients.
Perfect. Thank you so much, George. I appreciate that. And again, there's no shortage of business to be had right now, but we need more of our focused agents. And the question is, are you one of those focused people that see the opportunity for what it really is? But you're going to have to mobilize yourself like never before. If you want to get to compound income and compound residuals and compound overrides, you're going to have to master the art of compound pounding, where you go out there and step out of your comfort zone and do what needs to be done so that you can achieve the success that you seek. I can't tell you how blessed I am to have been in FFS all these years. And I would love to tell you how fun and easy it was. And I will tell you right now that it's been nothing but at times nightmares, but I never lost sight of the bigger picture. I never let my ego get in the way. I never got butthurt by somebody that hurt my feelings, or somebody at corporate, or something this happened. I mean, there are so many, you have no clue what has been happening for the last 17 years for me. And I will tell you that all it takes is a few bad instances to, not feel, good. But I can tell you that I have not had anything but good times, and primarily because of the caliber of the people that I surround myself with. And so I say thank you for all of you, and to all of you for all that you do. And my challenge to you, of course, is to not miss out on this great opportunity to put yourself on the map. And if you think that the residual income looks good now, and that's what it's going to look like in 15 years, even if we're not here, somebody can benefit from the hard work we put in today. And that, for me, is the ultimate blessing for future generations, where we can actually change the entire trajectory of generations to come, because we agreed to bust our butts here today. Even, I'll tell you the story. I gave my first $50,000. I gave it to somebody when I came across my first $50,000 in business, because I had no clue how to even spell IUL. And I immediately had a teacher that I would thank her forever. She was well compensated, because my first $50,000 I gave directly to her to write up all that business. And then she went on to make a lot more money. But I had to do that. I had to pay the price to learn this, the system, the product, and so on. But I knew that it was a short-term investment compared to what was coming. And I can't tell you how glad I am we did that back then. So I sure encourage you to, again, understand that you're not here making beer money. We're not here talking about shopping money or even Christmas money. We're talking life-changing income if you stay the course. Thank you so much, everybody. Look forward to seeing you at the convention.
Hey, Javier.
Go ahead. Oh, Monday.
Oh, yeah, Monday. Did you mention about?
No, go ahead. I did not.
Okay, yeah. I sent you an email about it. Everybody, we're holding our Monday webinar again at 10 a.m. for those of you that attended last time. And this Monday, we actually have another guest speaker directly from National Life that's going to be talking about the National Life annuities, the new ones, break them down, how they make money, how they're able to come up with those numbers. And more importantly, he's going to be talking about how it's going to affect the annuities in a positive fashion now the interest rates are starting to go up. So now your clients are going to be able to make even more returns just because of the interest rate environment. Bad for the mortgage industry, but great for annuities and savers as well. So I encourage you guys to get on the webinar. Javier, I don't know if you can post or put up my
What is it?
webchatgm.com.
Got it. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the screen. If you do want to participate, obviously it's free. George is being really gracious and opening up his team event. And so what I'm going to do is put this on the screen right now. And if you are watching the recording, just go ahead and follow the instructions. So let me just put this on the screen. George, let me know if you can see it, please.
Yep. Let's see. Hold on.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. That's it. I'll leave it up there for the remainder of the webinar. Any other questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? The only thing that I think we're not doing a good job of, and this is just me being critical to primarily to myself. I think we're dropping the ball big time as it relates to recognition. I think too many of you are taking too many people for granted. I find it very difficult to believe that there's not one person on the entire team that you could not find to recognize. I find that difficult to believe. I know that obviously Alan's a major achievement to be able to reach that position and that contract level. But I know that somebody on the team submitted something, did something, recruited somebody. I just find it very difficult. And so I think we're getting sloppy as it relates to that. And to me, I will take recognition over money any day of the week. And most people will as well. It's no fun being a hero if nobody knows about it. Don't be the one that sits on your team's achievements because you thought, oh, well, it's just a one little piece of business. Oh, it's already this. Oh, he already knows I appreciate him or her or whoever. Bull. I'm telling you right now, the Saturday is a perfect stage that we open up every single Saturday or most Saturdays to recognize. And so I find it very difficult to believe. So my homework to all of you as leaders, don't let this happen. Don't get in the habit of taking your people for granted. My daughter was asking me about advice. We're celebrating, my wife and I were celebrating our 30th anniversary. And so what I was telling her, in my opinion, relationships start to die when we start to take each other for granted. And I don't care what kind of relationship we're talking about. And there are times where, we drop the ball. And so I'm just saying, don't let that be you. If not, make sure you do something this week to help your people reach a milestone that you could recognize them this coming Saturday. And so I hope you don't take it the wrong way. And if you do, too bad, because I just feel very strongly about how much I love everybody. And I know how lonely it can feel at times. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were telling me how during my entire year in FFS, have I ever felt like quitting? And my answer to them, well, probably only about 2,000 or 3,000 times, to be honest with you. I'm leaving, I'm switching companies, I'm switching this. That's just the way it is. If you don't ever feel like quitting, it's because you're probably not doing anything. And because once you go out there and realize that this is a contact sport, you're going to get an owie, you're going to get a scraped knee, you're going to get a scraped elbow, you're going to get a fat, bloody lip and punch in the nose with life. And that's just life. And don't apologize for that. So that's why I'm saying, go out there and do what you need to do, but don't forget your people. If you don't have somebody that you can recognize this week for a minor, tiny milestone, well, go out there and do something to help them get achieved next Saturday. So anyway,
hey, Javier,
go ahead.
I'd like to say something real quick. I'm not a leader yet. I don't have a team yet. I'm kind of new to the game. I've let Alan Guerra know this, personally, but I'll say it publicly. I'm very proud to be associated with him. I'm lucky to have him as a mentor and a guide, and my partner. And I always thank him for his continued support, patience with my growth. And, it's a great goal to strive to get to his level and to be able to move forward like that. He's a great example of what can be done. So I just want to thank him publicly for everything he does as well.
Thank you. You know what I do, to be honest with you, Stephen, first of all, you are a leader already because I've known you for a long time. And now you're an excellent leader. Now you're right. You might be having to learn the ropes of that, how things work here, but we all been there, done that type of thing. And so I'm glad to have you on board on the team as well. But I will tell you that the reason I ask you and I beg you to just say something is because there's great power in doing something that he just mentioned, and that is publicly. When I get on the stage at FFS, I could sit there and talk about myself all day and I don't. I love to talk about my wife more than about anybody else because I love her. And I want everybody to know that it's been, 30 years and it's been a hell of a ride. I wouldn't change a thing. I still love her. I still think she's beautiful and hot and sexy. And I love grabbing her everywhere all the time we go. And I just like day one type of thing. And I think that there's great power in just publicly acknowledging our feelings. And so that's just a piece of advice I would give you in anything you do, because remember, the day we start to take each other for granted, the day we start to drift apart. And that's true in anything we do. And so I'm not judging anybody. I'm just simply saying that's an observation I've made in 30 years of walking this minefield called marriage. Well, not going to call it a minefield, but you know what I mean. And that's just one piece of advice I leave you. Anybody else going once, twice? If not, thank you so much for all that you do. I really can't tell you how proud I am to have you as part of my family. And I really challenge you to go out there and make this coming week the most productive week in the history of your business. Thank you so much. And next Saturday, please don't be the one that doesn't have anybody to recognize. Or the Saturday after that. That just simply means that, we maybe didn't do as much as we could have as a leader to bring out the best in people. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend.